Welcome to the bold analysis. Happy new month. This is my first video in this month of July. I have failed to do video for the last 2 days. Yes, and guys, I've really missed you. It's true. Yeah, I want to send my condolences to my friend and a subscriber in this channel, Daktari Maima. Yeah, I lost a relative in the Londiani accident. And may God condole with the family. Ladies and gentlemen, the reverse psychology script Rigathi Cabinet and William Ruto are employing around the salary increment ploy is laughable. It is reverse psychology, for lack of a better word. Recently, you know, I saw the president and his deputy coming in public, and William Ruto is telling us that he's going to stop salary increment for the higher cadre of civil servants, that is cabinet secretaries and above, in a pretense in public that is caring for the economy. And in that statement, they seem to insinuate that the fact that they're not taking that salary increment, they are caring because that money should go to to stabilizing the economy. And to continue with the whole thing, the deputy president even dared cabinet secretaries to resign, saying that they are not going to be part of that increment. And what the Kenyan public are being told to believe is that when that is done, they're not caring for, they are caring for the economy, that money that was to be used for increasing salary of the cabinet secretary and the president will help in a project. Let me tell you, take the 22 cabinet secretaries, just the cabinet secretary and the president. Even if you were to slash 100,000, now the increment is around 200,000. Even if you have to take that 200,000, that is how many? You take, it's 100,000. Take 100,000 times 20, and then ongeze a president and the deputy. You know, is it really that effective? So what we are saying here is very clear, that the president and his deputy are playing reverse psychology. To what? Do you want to tell me that William Ruto needs even salary increment? Does he even need it? If that cattle, transport, fuel, their clothes, wardrobe, watch, not watch, phone and anatomia, credit, everything, travel, house, everything is catered for by the government. So they don't even need it in the first place. You cannot compare him or them with a policeman. But this is what they had to say in public.
Sisi wakati huu hatutaki nyongeza ya mshahara. Hapana. Hatutaki. Hata kama pesa itapatikana hatuwezi chukua. Mkilete tuta return to sender. Wacha ile pesa itapatikana kwanza tununue bolea ya wakulima. Wacha ile pesa itapatikana tupatie akina mama na wazee wale wa 70 years and above. Sisi wacha rais tugoje.
That salaries of other civil servants can be adjusted beginning tomorrow. So our teachers, our policemen, our people serving in the military space, people working in government offices, we have agreed that because of where we are today, your salaries will be adjusted by between 7 and 10% from tomorrow. But for the other people, the state officers, myself, my deputy, ministers, PSS, na wale wadosi wengine wabunge, na wale wengine, sisi mambo yetu tungoje. Tafadhali. hiyo mshahara itakwama hapo. Mimi nimeona watu wanasema mshahara ya kuna watu fulani. Hapana, hiyo mshahara ingoja hapo until I have instructed the SRC to give us international best practice.
Now, it's very interesting because from those sound bites, the two sound bites, they seem to insinuate as if they need that salary increment, so even themselves they are sacrificing for the economy, while that is not the truth. And I want to face the facts because we actually accepted that President William Ruto gave us a different discussion that we're not going to discuss about. When you discuss economy, we'll use the facts. I want to look at what exactly is haunting William Ruto and why they're making that public posture on the salary increment. But before we get into that, I want to take this moment and reach out to you in a very special way. Last year we did a fundraiser for Sarah, and we raised 1.3 million, a total of 1.3 million in this channel to help medication because she was diagnosed with acute leukemia. Now, we really thought that things would get well. Sarah got well, but somewhere she was overwhelmed. And we lost Sarah last week this week on Monday 26th. So quite a number of us have been reaching out to me, of course, asking me, and I want to say thank you because we have members of this channel who are part of the burial committee that came up. And as I said before, they're a bit overwhelmed because the whole of it is there. And I decided that since we have had this with Sarah and we agreed, we still hung around, we just allow us to give her the last expense so that she can rest in Siaya. So we are reaching out to you guys. I've pinned the number there. Let's help push this. We're going to do this for the next few days. The burial is rated for 15, so until probably the next 10 days, we'll be in a position to pull and just make sure that we complete that last part. Oh, you know, I always wanted to avoid that because, okay. Now, what is haunting William Ruto are these three things. Recently, there was a report by Business Daily. I need to get that report here. I think I was just reading it. Yes, there was a report. Yes, there was a report by Business Daily that Kenyans default on 83 billion bank loans in the last 4 months. Now, if you read that report, I just got this excerpt. Borrowers, one of the things is that alarming loan default. Many people and companies and individuals are not able to service their loans. And borrowers have defaulted on extra 82 billion bank loans in just 4 months, signaling the economic struggles that have seen the share of non-performing loans hit a 16% high. For the first time, the default rate has hit 16%, has hit highest in the last 16 years. For the last 16 years, this default rate is the highest. Now, the latest central bank data shows that the proportion of loans for which no interest or principal has been received for at least 3 months hit 14.6%. What does this mean? Principal is the amount. If you borrow like 100,000, then that 100,000 is the money you borrow, that is the principal. Then the interest on it. So interest ni ile yenye kojo yake yenye utarudisha nayo. So for the last 3 months, there are some idle loans that are not active because people have not been able to pay. You know, for those 3 months, we've had salary delays. For those last 3 months, we've had protests. For the last 3 months, things have not been moving. Now, things have not been moving. For the last 3 months, we've also been told that we paid loans. Now, what is happening here is banks are grounded and they cannot make profit. You need to understand that the product that banks sell is loan, credit. That's a product of the banks. So if people cannot pay, then it's like their business is going down. So they are feeling some regression in terms of what they are getting. And if people can't pay loans, then that means they will not be able to lend. And so, with the low borrowing rate, there is going to be low investment because people borrow to invest. People borrow to jenga kaplot. People borrow jenga nyumba yake polepole home. People borrow to do something, to establish a business somewhere. But when people are not borrowing, that means investment is low, and that also affects jobs. So, one thing we said, and I remember when we were making political observation about finance bill, we said we are over-attacking the payroll. So what the president's team or UDA team has realized is that for the last 3 months, we've had such a default rate. I know the CBK might have sat down with them and told them, guys, look here. If even before this finance bill, this is how people were behaving and they were not being able to pay loans. Now, with this finance bill, in the way you guys have proposed a lot of these tax deductions, the situation might get dire. So the bit of this increase is a contingency plan to, cover the face, because they're still going to deduct. This default, well, people are not deducting. One thing I can tell you here is this kind of people that are borrowing, the highest lenders, borrowers, are civil servants, public servants. Those are the highest lenders. Those guys in the payroll. And even if you go to bank, if you have a payroll, and we're YouTuber huku, you will know the difference between the two. So it's very clear that that decision to talk about salary increment, then increasing so that they can tax it, because it is not true, guys. We are saying we are cushioning them from the high cost of living, but if we are cushioning them, but we still have inflation, what we need to address is inflation. And it is what we could not address in the finance bill because we were we were preoccupied by the tax collection policy. But we did not look at what is the ripple effect on inflation, because inflation is the other definition of the high cost of living. The cost of unga is high. So if we manage the inflation, then if we can we can bring down our inflation, then the problem is halfway solved. So that is number one reason why they are realizing that the salary increase is there. Secondly, I want to see this as a perceptual politics, so that I care as if I am caring. I posture as if I am caring. Let me tell you, the biggest takeaway and the whole protests around the just concluded finance bill was never emphasized on the fact that it's a percentage, but the question of Kenyans, we didn't want it. And there was a general, I think there was a popular, let me not use general, there was a popular understanding that the taxpayer, the government has not listened to the taxpayer. And then that is why they want now to project themselves and say, you know what, we are not taking salary increase so that when you increase your salary, your daktari, your driver, your who, we are going to care for you. This is the truth. These fellows that are saying they are not increasing their salaries have all allowances to go anywhere and to do anything with anyone. they want. If they want to go to US and they want to go with 5 people, all those people get their allowances and flights. If Mudavadi or any CS or presidents want some 5 million worth watch, it will be budgeted for in his office. They have budgets in their offices. They're also benefiting from corruption scandals. They're the ones that are deal makers. Teachers are not into any deal here. There is no teacher who is getting a tender to construct a road. The guys that are getting tenders to construct roads and even build the houses are the fellows, the cabinet secretaries, and the people that are telling you we are reducing our salary so that it helps. And it's not true of what Rigathi is saying. Hata ukichukua, even if you remove that which is supposed to be added to the president and the cabinet secretaries, see, it's a drop in the ocean if you put it in the template economic recovery. The contribution of that ni kidogo sana, and it's even effect yake haiwezi filika unless you tell me you reduce it and take it to some charity cause and say it's going to this. But what is high effect? Instead of not increasing, why don't you reduce? We've had a wage bill problem throughout. It's not today, it's been going on. So if you want to solve wage bill, because again, this is a question of, it's coming because we've been complaining about wage bill and the opposition complained about the expenditure. So why don't you cut? Then Kenyans will know, okay, fine, you know the situation is bad, so you're cutting your salary. Number 3, I think there is some discord in the public service and quite a number are listening to Raila. They know that there is a public discord. The public servants who are annoyed that our pay slips are being raided for every deduction that government want, and this is not something welcome. So I can tell you, if there was to be an election today in this country and only the 800, 900, and 790,000 civil servants are the ones to vote, I can tell you Ruto will lose that vote, even to a less popular candidate like Wajakoya. I think Jakoya is the least in that example. Ruto will lose that. So that is why I'm seeing this as just trying to, continue as a plan. They don't need the salary increment in the first place. Number 2, whatever it's supposed to be added on top of their salaries is inconsequential in the context of economic recovery. It's not true that stopping salary increment of a cabinet secretary, the 22 cabinet secretaries and the president and his deputy, is one strategy for economic recovery. No. It will be true if you reduce. Reduce for president, cabinet secretary, parliament, reduce. But if you remain because the level it is already a problem. That is my take, guys. Let's meet in the next. I've been missing for, of course, today, so I'll try to do a couple of many videos and touch into many things. I know many people have been getting my WhatsApp. Kevin, what about the Homa Bay? What about my seat? I'll have to touch on those. But I still finish by asking you guys, let's support Sarah's last expense. We did this in the past, so she's one of us. We've done that, and let's just help us so that we can take the body home and also touch a bit on the welfare of the boy that is left. The family is a bit overwhelmed. I am at the center of activities there, and I'm speaking from a point of knowledge. Thank you.